So, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's call, Awareness of the Divine Inside. I am super honored and massively grateful to have Sean Campbell on this podcast with us tonight. I was really privileged to speak with Sean just over a month ago now, and he's touched my world in so many ways that I just feel that the world needs more of people like Sean. And I've got some really great questions to ask Sean so that you guys can experience more of his awareness and just the pleasure that I get on a bit of a frequent basis when we have conversations and a real magnificent energy that he is. Um, and for those of you at any point, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and I can always bring them into our conversation as well. Um, and Sean and I have an intention here this evening for you all to receive a healing. So we ask that you be open and maybe just take a minute and set an intention for what you want to receive from this, because in your intention, we'll perceive the energy of that and bring it in. So, as this goes out on replay as well, for those of you on YouTube or whatever platform you're receiving this, set the intention, even if this is after the call, because you may find that what you're asking for gets explored here this evening. So, Sean, thank you so much for choosing to be here and for us to have this conversation. Um, I'm super excited for where this conversation is going to go because there's an essence of who knows where it will go as we explore this topic.
Right.
Um, and we're going to have some fun here tonight for sure. So, as we begin this, Sean, can you please just give everybody a little bit of your background, your story, and yeah, just share that with us, please.
Well, first of all, thank you, all of you, for choosing to entertain the possibility here tonight. We've seen things like this change and transform lives. We did one of these a couple years ago, and there was actually a lady watching it that healed from cancer. So we never know what's going to happen. Keep an open mind and an open heart. But I'm just grateful for the opportunity and everyone's time. Greatly appreciative of that. I'm 54 years old. I live in Montana, United States of America. I come to healing, oh geez, a little over 20 years ago. I was dying from type 1 diabetes at the time, kidney failure. I had went blind years before that. Can see. I could talk about my story forever, but I was basically dying. Medicine had wrote me off. Doctor sent me home, said you might have a year at best. And I met Vianna Steibel, the founder of Theta Healing, a week later. And here I am over 20 years later. This is my life. This is what I do. I mean, I could talk about miracles and stories. I think we'll get into that. But, it's an incredible opportunity to realize the power of our own human body stimulated with thought.
Mm.
And we call it belief. So, I'm a father of five. I've had the honor and pleasure of helping raise five beautiful kids, and it's been an incredible life. Now I just get to hang out and talk about off the wall stuff for most people and just have a great time meeting the coolest people.
Yeah,
So I would sum it up with that.
thank you. And I think, you know, it it's only once you start witnessing what we call, spontaneous remissions and miracles that
Right.
you can also explain how blessed we are in that place that someone gifts us the honor to witness that change within them. Because that's pretty special in itself, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's the greatest part of what I do.
Right.
Well, I don't know. I'm on the fence. I love delivering service to people one on one, but when I watch someone get it and figure it out, I think that's the next level for me
Yeah, yeah,
because we're all little miracle machines. We just don't know it.
right. And that in its essence, for a lot of people can sound a bit out there, right? Like
Oh, for
wi-
sure.
a miracle, right? This thing
Right, right,
that happens once in a lifetime or probably not even then for most people, right? But we
right,
talk about it about just this present moment here and now is the miracle. It is the gift, and there's so much contained within it of pureness, divinity, and all this gorgeousness that often just kind of goes, oh, well, I'm just sitting in this room on a laptop on a podcast.
right. But we're not. We're all connected.
Yeah. So, can you tell us a little bit about theta healing? Because not everyone that's on the call tonight or those that will be listening on the replay are aware of theta healing or what it's about.
Oh, absolutely. Theta healing is a really cool process. It's a technique. It's not a cult. It's not a religion. It's just a set of steps that we have found to be incredibly productive in someone willingly want to change their life. Willing full manifestation, I like to call it.
Right,
But it really is a set of steps. There's a meditative process. There's things we can learn and do when we're in what is a theta brainwave, which is where magic happens. You ever been around any? Speaking to everyone, not necessarily Katerina, but you get around certain people, certain monks or high end religious people, you could just feel the energy about them. They carry a resonance and they have an impact on people. And theta healing gives us the ability to tap into a theta brainwave. These people are all walking around, these monks, these enlightened ones, these shamans, and on in a theta brainwave. And theta healing was the process Vianna figured out how to induce that in seconds. You can fast for, I don't know, 6 hours, 6 days, and you will be in a deep theta wave. But you can gong a chakra bowl, you can ohm 3 full breaths and produce a theta brainwave. We've measured all of this, but you can get there with this meditation um, in seconds, and it's so much stronger than a lot of the other methods, unless somebody was a master at this, that, or the other. And so it's to me, forgive the word, but it's an idiot-proof process if you follow the guidelines.
right,
It couldn't be any simpler, and I didn't know anything about anything when it comes to stuff like this. And the very first healing I did for someone worked. Anyone can do this.
right.
And so, without giving away the class and the whole modality, I mean, we could answer some questions, but you know, um, what I love about theta healing is Vianna wrote a book called Theta Healing. It's the first book, and the modality is in the book. Everything you would ever need to know on how to do this, you can find there. I highly recommend taking the courses on
Mhm.
top of that. But the book has been so profound for so many people in helping them understand themselves, and that's what theta healing has brought mostly to me.
Mm.
Awareness of the divine inside, if you will.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, absolutely. And I think, you know, especially this day and age where, you know, people are sort of bombarded with well, all sorts of stuff really, but now we're seeing more exposure to um manifesting uh mindfulness and all of these things that
Right.
it can become a bit of a blur and like, well, what does it mean? So like even us, we've called this podcast Awareness of the Divine Inside. Can you share with us what that means for you and how someone who may be completely new to all of this
Absolutely.
accesses that or finds it, let's say?
Well, to find it within oneself is simple. Find a happy place. You've started to experience that in the simplest form. Anything that makes you feel good. You want to experience the divine inside? Tell someone you love them with meaning. or pure intent, or not just, oh, I love you, but I love you.
Mm.
You are the most important thing in the universe to me right now because you're what is present. And there's a different energy there, right? And the divine inside is how far down the rabbit hole do you want to go? I've had 13 documented instant healings in my body, one of which was my knees. Orthopedics said you need to get surgery. We're going to put a titanium joint in your leg and theta healing and the processes. And some people are like, well, maybe not. Maybe not. And I have great knees. Over 20 years, I've had that healing. I have the knees of a teenager. It's incredible. So, how far down the rabbit hole do we want to go? It's about willful co creation. What do you want to manifest in your life? Health, love, money, it doesn't matter. It's all the creator, what I like to call the creator of all that is. It's everything. It's you, me, these laptops, these phones, everything, coffee, nectar of the gods. It's everything. And you, as an individual, give your reality its definition, its meaning. You're the one creating the perspective. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. To me, the divine inside is the part of the self that can see beyond the known, feel beyond what is understood, and recognize that this life is but a small part of what we're actually doing here.
Nice.
You want to pull away from that a little, or so?
Yeah, go on.
I said we were all little miracle machines, and we are. Um, my knees, my vision, my kidneys, my heart, all kinds of things. On a CT scan, I have a brain. They just can't understand how my brain could be that clean at my age. No, I do healing work every day, and the transcended reality of possibility, I guess is what I'd like to frame that as, is the recognition that I'm a part of something much bigger than me, much more powerful than I think I could ever be, much more magnificent. It's undefinable,
Yeah.
in my words. And Rumi was famous for having stated it searched and searched for God, and all it found at the end of that journey was itself. And when it looked inside itself, all it could find was God. And it's that, for me, you asked me, what is it for me? It's a stillness, it's a peace, it's a harmony. It's the willfulness of me not to react, but more rather respond through thoughtful action.
Hmm.
My guiding principle for all of life is let what love do.
Yeah.
And when I do that, things go better than when I do what Sean wants to do.
Yeah.
But
Um,
sometimes the more clear I get and clean up my issues and get to know myself and all that, the more they merge and become the same thing.
yeah. Because then you become the truth of who you are
Right.
without what created the identity of those challenging experiences or difficult situations
Right. Right.
that doesn't allow the love to be the default.
Well, and what causes that is memory. Love is the default. Hold a baby. You'll see perfect pure love. It hasn't evolved yet to have any other agenda, but conceptually, that's what it is. And that still lives in anyone, no matter their age.
Yeah.
How are we going to tap into that? What are we going to do with it? What I know is that kind of innocent, pure love changes lives, takes cancer, arthritis, you name it, it just can wipe it away.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
magic. We're more and more science, quantum physics, things are coming on board, measuring all this because we're getting results. I don't need proof anymore. I'm just having fun. But a lot of people are cautiously optimistic, I like to think, and they should check it out and really get a feel for what's right for them. But I know that there are many techniques, but the theta healing technique has brought me closer to the awareness of I don't have to be defined by that past story. Buddha said, don't think backwards. Our heads don't turn around for a reason. We're geared to move forward.
Yeah.
Think a little bit about your future. Be in the now. Yesterday's irrelevant, But we as a people, we love to define ourselves by our stories. Oh, I was a diabetic and I went through all these horrible things. And that's a cool story, kind of, but it wasn't that much fun. And
Yeah.
and and so I don't want to let that be my identification is what I've learned. It is a very important part of what brought me to this moment, helping
Yeah.
me understand who I am, but I'm not that which happened to me.
Yeah.
More rather, I'm that which responded.
Yeah.
So,
That's, I think, for me, I think that's really the key is that you know what got you to where you are, and, in some part required to get you to this moment, but
oh, absolutely.
equally, like you said, it doesn't define you. So, like, I am not my illness, I am not my abuse, I am not my trauma, I am not my victimization, I'm not what I've lived through. And
Right,
what tends to happen with most people is that they keep on re-identifying with the I am because it's based on the evidence that they see, right? Rather than who do I want to be? What is really possible for me? How do I want to live? Where do I want to be?
right, right. Well, we, like you, powerful point you said that things we see, we think are real, and so people think that they're their body and they're not. Their body is a part of their experience. It's the vessel for your soul to ride around and see things, hear things, taste things. But I ask people, are you the clothes you're wearing? Then don't identify by them. Are you actually your kneecap? Are you, or is the kneecap a part of you? And to start to kind of look at things like that, because disidentifying, a lot of spiritual people talk about getting rid of the ego. All these things can get really simple if we just start remembering what we are. We're spiritual beings having a human experience, and that can override half of people's BS
Mhm.
that they're dealing with in life.
Yeah. I
So,
often remind myself of that when I'm driving and there's traffic. I'm like, we're just spiritual beings having a human
it's
experience.
easy to get caught up in life. Kids and cars and police and terrorism and war and
Yeah.
beauty and people being born and flowers blooming. I mean, it's all going on. Destruction and creation are simultaneous, and they have to work together. They do, and it creates the beautiful experience, the contrast. But for most people, if I say BS, they think of bullshit. How about beautiful synchronicity? And so there's human beings BS, and it can be a load of shit. Or there's God's BS, I like to call it, the beautiful synchronicity. And they
Yeah.
really are one and the same if we open our eyes and just kind of breathe and quit thinking these things are happening to us, but
Yeah.
these things are happening for us. We might not like it, but they really are happening for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love to talk about rejection and acceptance. Is someone really being rejected, or is the universe showing them an opportunity where they can realize that they're worth more? And we all fall to the victimization naturally, emotionally.
Yeah.
Ouch, they left me. Well, they did, and that should probably maybe get your attention, and we might have some not so fun feelings. But is this a moment of devastation or creation?
Mm.
And that is something we get to decide in every moment.
Yeah.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to tell you that a dog turd is beautiful, okay? In the park, you're walking along and there's this pile. But what I will tell you is how it got there is insanely beautiful, undefinably beautiful. The process of life. Most dogs run around and eat garbage, and they thrive and they live. And it's like, wait a minute, don't miss the forest for the tree. So it's not always what we think.
Yeah.
And to just quiet the mind a little bit. Mindfulness, you called it.
Yeah.
People have said, well, that sounds like it's boring, and how are you ever going to get anything done? And I'm like, well, you can process like a human being with about 10% of your divine essence, or you can process through 90%, your soul, your subconscious. You can hear the much higher thought forms if you silence the human thinking machine.
Yeah. No,
That one thing right there, if I could only teach anybody one thing, it would be that with breath work. Change your life. Simple things. Be quiet, breathe, rhythm. Takes us out of ourselves. Starts to balance our hormones. We get reconnected to our environment instead of chaos. We can connect to the beauty that exists in that same moment.
yeah,
And it's a choice. What would love do? Well, it wouldn't give him the finger. Probably not.
yeah,
Right? And do
yeah,
something else. And I use that every day, all day long. What would love say? How would love respond to this?
yeah,
Because to me, creator, the God, the all it is, the omnipotent one, which is really everyone and then some, but God is love and love is all there is in a simple equation. And when I say what would love do, that's I'm like asking, hey universe, what creation, what's a good thing here?
yeah. I mean,
And it always gives me a better idea than some of the good ones I even have.
yeah. I mean, you said that to me when we first spoke, what would love do here? And I've really employed that in my life in the last 6 weeks or so, however long it's been. And, just that question in itself is such a disruptor. It
Oh yeah,
disrupts the momentum for the contrast, right? And it just cuts right in and it just puts an end to that story running. And it allows, if you're willing to, of course, it allows the divine to show you that there's something here for you that is
absolutely.
beautiful.
Because it's always showing us before we even ask. This
Yeah.
is where it gets weird. Time's an illusion, thoughts like that. I don't know how far you guys want to stretch this conversation, but it's always there for us.
Yeah.
Always. Because it's
So,
a part of us. I'm not God. None of us are. We're people living here trying to remember that we have incredible abilities of self healing, witnessing healing for others. Manifestation, thoughts create reality is not an idea, it's real.
yeah,
It's as real as anything to me because I experience it every day.
yeah. One of the things that I used to say, when I began uh, practicing theta healing was if it can change my life, it can change yours too. Like,
Absolutely.
I don't get any special privileges, right? It's a choice. Like I learned the modality, I practiced, I developed that brain, or sorry, that muscle, to create and to really understand myself and have that experience that now, yeah, okay, we've been doing this, you've been doing it for 2 decades, I've been doing it for a decade. It's easy for us, right? Because we've built that muscle, we can connect in and we have that ability to have faith. But equally, I always, especially when I'm teaching, I'll say, like, don't compare my 10 years to your day one.
Never.
Right. Because it's so easy to go, oh, but, I don't think, I'll ever be able to do that. I remember my first theta healing session and I was like, I'm never going to be able to do what she does. Right. And in some part, I was absolutely right in the sense that she had the gift that she did in the way that she worked and I have mine as you have yours and we do have a few theta healers practitioners on the call tonight who equally have their gift and the way that they deliver to the people that they work with and I think that's one of the beautiful things about this modality that I found is that it reminds you of the gift that you are and each and every one of us is with the techniques.
We've all got a unique flavor and color to ourselves. Absolutely. And I the same thing. I'm no better at this than anyone. I've just done it a lot, and there's no substitute for practice. I tell all them students in the beginning the same thing. They it's natural to compare because we start getting inspired, and until we figure those beliefs out, then we could just be inspired without the comparison. Then we're more in an admiration and growth towards comparison. Actually, is putting the self down usually.
Yeah.
They're better than me and I want to do that, but they're better than me. That's not efficient.
Mm.
So we've all got our special thing we can offer life. There's a reason we were all created. There's a reason they broke the mold when they made you, when they made me, and so on and so forth. And we've all got a cool little thing we can add to this flavor of life as a whole.
Yeah.
Humanity has to stop being basically narcissistic or selfish, thinking the world is about them, and understand that they are in a world for them.
Yeah.
A little different
Such a
spin on
huge, yeah, it's
it. Right.
it's a little difference, but it's such a huge difference in reality.
Yeah. I realized, I don't know, a decade ago or something, it's like I could either be the cause or the effect. And if I'm in the effect mode, then there's 8.5 billion people running around affecting me. That can get really weird, unpredictable, and uncomfortable. However, if I become a cause for myself, then I could affect 8.5 billion people. People want to be bulletproof. They don't want to hurt. They don't want negative emotion to mess with them or their energy to be strong and all these kinds of things. And it's like, well, then become the cause.
Yeah.
Was it Gandhi? Be the change you want to see in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah. Starts with a smile and going, holy crap, maybe I can change my situation.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can change anything. I was supposed to die like 95 times now. I'm exaggerating a little, but anything can happen.
Yeah, but you've met that a few times, right? So it's not it, exaggeration in numbers, but not in reality.
No, no, I've been written off a number of times. I don't know why that continues to be the way it happens for me because I've done a lot of work. I don't want to do that anymore, but it all is building strength and character and understanding and it's like the day I embraced the diabetes that this body likes to play with sometimes was the last day that it ever had power over me. It's part of my experience, but it no longer has power over me. As we'd mentioned before, I don't identify I'm a diabetic. No, don't think like that.
Mm,
No, diabetes is something that I play with every day. That's a healthier, lighter thought form to me. And
yeah.
approaching all things in that way makes them small. And when something's small, it's easy to handle, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to handle. You can just get it done. And so, what disease?
Yeah.
What problem? People have two mindsets typically I run into. I've probably done 25,000 sessions now and I just watch. I'm just taking notes at this point and they like to be problem solvers. The problem with that is you're going to continually manifest a problem to solve. Now, if
Yeah.
you are there's always going to be challenges in growth. Shit happens. It's life.
Yeah.
Right. But if you become a solution oriented thinker, you're not looking for problems, you're moving in solutions all the time. This is when you feel more supported. It's just a perception approach, a way of thinking that's not that different from problem solving,
Yeah.
honestly, but it's the energy behind it. Oh, something happened. Okay, well, let's figure out how to deal with it. That's what we do anyways, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if I make you my problem, you're going to be a problem to me. Jesus said, "Can you love your enemy?" I'm starting to tap on this idea, and it's like, well, why do I even want to? Well, because if I'm angry or hateful or resentful or anything to any other human being, I'm just giving them my power.
It's like, here, take it. It's yours.
Yeah, and I was really struggling with this when I was working on this, back then, and God's like, Creator says, you all have a common interest, and if you can find that in someone you might not like that much or that you disagree with strongly, you might find common ground. And I'm like, well, okay, conceptually that made sense to me. But I'm like, what do we do with terrorists? I do not like that. Nobody does. Maybe they do. God said, well, first of all, don't criticize what you don't understand. I thought, okay. And it said, what's the commonality? And I said, I have nothing in common with someone that would murder someone else. And it says, are you so certain? And I thought, and what I realized, guys, is that a terrorist, a politician, a mother, a priest, a healer, doesn't name it. We're all kind of fighting, forgive the word, but moving towards what we believe in wholeheartedly. I'm fighting for what I believe in with everything I got because this world seems to be getting weird, and I would love to see people do better. And is that any different than someone that's labeled a terrorist? They're fighting for what they believe in with all they got. I don't have to agree. I don't have to like, but I can find that common ground. And then all of a sudden, I'm not resentful, angry, or giving them my energy. It makes sense to me. Let's see, I can fuel your negative, what I think is your negative mission, or I can send you love and hope for better change.
Yeah.
I can't control anything outside of myself. See,
Yeah.
I can influence, but I cannot control. So finding that common ground is where people are going to begin, that they're going to open the door to the divine inside at that point.
Right.
And falling in love is one of the greatest experiences in life. The only thing that has topped that in this journey, and I've fallen in love a few times and I've had kids, and I love my dogs, but the day I fell in love with me was a game changer. And it was infinitely more powerful than I've ever had with another human being. And I didn't expect that. Everybody says self love. Oh, I'm here to say, yeah, absolutely. Because then you got something to offer those people you care about. Something
From a
real, something powerful,
yeah,
something wonderful that just seems to know what the hell to do. Things like that.
yeah. From a
Default,
whole new place, right?
absolutely. From default divinity, which is what we all are.
Yeah. We have a question here
Oh,
that that says, I'd love to know how you maintain that positive attitude and moving forward despite all that you've been through and past experiences.
I Man, that's a great question. There's so many ways to answer that. For me, it's a choice, and I do not like feeling crappy. It's part of life. We need to feel what we need to feel. Anger is powerful. It can be. People couldn't say no if they didn't have anger. I was like, oh, and so for me though, it came down to a choice. It's like I want to feel good, and free agency says that you agreeing or disagreeing with me does not have to affect my state of feeling or being. I'm like, okay. And I really kind of processed the modeling of that and how I could be connected to people, not shut down, not completely separate and in a cave somewhere. So I felt safe and how to be connected with everyone. And in that process, what I found was the gift of life. This is how I stay positive automatically. Every breath is a freaking gift, and the alternative to living kind of sucks. It doesn't suck. It's incredible, but it's a whole nother level. It's a whole nother journey. Being here is such a gift. Such a gift. And I know that now.
Mm,
Before it was like, yeah, sounds good on paper, but you're dying again. I'm like, this life sucks. We all do that. But it's just like, no, this
yeah,
is another opportunity to realize what we're capable of. And nobody's getting out of here alive.
for sure.
Hey, ascension is possible. So,
Yeah.
so I always remember this life as a gift because immediately that starts to begin to put me in gratitude. Stay positive rules. The second thing I do every day of my life is I face my mortality, and I wish everyone would do that because if you knew and just put in your head, not out of fear, I'm going to die. No, that's not what I'm talking about. It's like, holy shit, I might not be here tomorrow. How can I make the most out of today?
Yeah.
Because if I did die tomorrow and get where I'm going, do I want to look at my last day on earth and go, well, I was crying and whining and bitching and moaning, or did I make the most out of every breath? And I remember that willfully, consciously. So by facing my mortality every day, just a little bit, that's rule number two. I think the third thing I do that helps me stay there is well, it's a practice. Years ago, I realized what I do the first 3 minutes of my day is going to really dictate what my feelings are. And I get out of bed and I look at my feet and I go, thank you for my feet. They were going to cut my feet off. I still have my infinite pairs of Nikes. And I thank you for this floor. And then by then I get to the bathroom. Thank you for my toilet. Thank you for the plumber. I repeat, thank you for about 3 minutes. Thank you for my coffee pot. Thank you for water. Thank you for my dog. Everything I can lay my eyes on until I start to really feel what I'm grateful for all of that stuff too, but I'm more grateful for love and the experience of life and the enrichment that comes through connection and learning and until I get to that place. So I start with things though every morning and until I feel that rush of love and I end up going, I'm so grateful for you, God, and then that's it. I'm good. I set the tone for the day and then it just rides. So then
Mm,
it's not a bunch of hard work to stay positive. Before all that, man, I did Abraham. I did affirmations. I did everything like everyone else is doing. And that's all wonderful stuff that works, that all built to this. But I think the biggest thing is when I do start feeling bad, I go, Sean, stop. You're worth so much more than this. And that turns it around right there. Just the acknowledgement. No, don't want to go down this road. And so mindfulness, not letting that stinking thinking. To see, the creator kept telling me it's not what you think, you guys, that creates your duality. It's the way you think. And that's where we start talking a little bit more about emotion, intention. You know, what are we really saying? Oh, how lovely. That sounds like eat shit, right? Or something. And people do that, I'm just a regular guy that's figuring this out, but it's like, and so the intention behind the word is paramount. Happiness is a choice, it's an inside job, it's not dictated by anyone else. Of course, I'm a little happier today because of this event, but without it, am I going to go, oh, my day is worthless and I'm crushed? No, man, it's an inside job. I realize that. And every day I find reasons to be happy, being alive being the number one reason.
yeah.
So, without going into a lot more technique, that's how I do it. It's a choice. And I remember that. Hell, one time I tied string around my finger, tight, a little bit tight. So I would remember just enough to bug me, to trigger me into positive thought. Because that was the whole goal. I'm going to think positive no matter what. Sit down and try and do that for 12 hours on
Yeah.
purpose. How long can you think positive thoughts? See, over in the Himalayas, people are ascending for real. You can go look at Greg Braden's research and find out more about this, but they think loving, kind thoughts for 13 years. Their belief is 13 years, nothing but positive, kind, loving thoughts, and you will ascend. And it happens. 140, over 144,000 documented cases now. So if them guys can do it for 13 years, I should be able to make it for a day. I
Right.
didn't make it 10 minutes on the first attempt. It took me, honestly, months to get to where I could keep that positive thought train all day. And then it just became a habit. So it was practice also. I guess that's the fourth step. I just kept practicing. Became a
Yeah.
habit.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And I think sometimes, these simple things are often underestimated, because
Absolutely.
everybody comes at things at very doing. The more I do, the more I prove, therefore, the more I am, the more I be. And
Right.
actually, the less you do consistently, that's powerful and supportive, actually puts you in that frequency and vibration of receiving, right? Um,
Absolutely.
and like even as we're talking now, it the thought forms that come to my mind are really how you and I got connected, right? Is that I was doing a healing for Jay, and Creator was like, you can't do this next bit. This next bit's not for you. So I said, Creator, okay, show me who, and I see your face, right? So that willingness to just receive and to be completely in faith of to know that I'm going to get the next solution. like as I ask, it will unfold. And then, there was an interaction between us. We spoke for a couple of hours, and then, Jay got what he needed as well. But that ability to simply know that it's got nothing to do with the doing or the force of action, but simply asking and receiving. But that in itself is a habit.
It is. Asking it is given is talked about religiously and in many cultures. We talk about the law of attraction, different things, but it really is wired that way. Your action step is to say, "This is what I desire," and to just kind of try to move in the general direction of it will get you there.
Yeah.
But we complicate. Love is simple. Watch a baby. Love is effortlessly simple, and it always will be. But we complicate it. Love is simple. What people do for it is what complicates it. So, and we are taught. Oh, I love this part. Intellectualization is incredible. These computers, the ability for us to talk to people all over the world at once. This is a freaking miracle to me. I grew up pre-internet, so this is like wild shit, right? But we're capable of this level of communication without any electronics, and that's just the beginning, And then the self-discovery, you guys, is what drives me. What are we capable of? The first time I did a healing and I watched a tumor disappear on a little baby, it blew my mind. I was ecstatic for about 45 minutes. And then for 6 weeks, I was a mess because it shattered my subconscious ideals or ideas of what reality is. This isn't possible unless you're Jesus or somebody. I'm just Sean. Wait a minute, God said, back the truck up. Right? You're so much more than that. All of you. None of us are any more special or unique than anyone else. If you're salt and I'm pepper and they're vanilla, that's fine. We're all our flavor, but we got to come together. That's why we're doing this. This is why I'm doing this today. I want to see people come together because when two or more are gathered, a state of harmony can start to exist, and the power isn't just magnified or amplified. It's infinitely, progressively amplified.
Yeah.
And I want my kids to grow up in a better world than I did. So let's do something,
Yeah. 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 For sure.
right?
Yeah.
I know I squirreled off a little bit there, but
No, 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 no. But I suppose that's how conversations go, really, don't they? Like
yeah.
it's, and when we're talking about the awareness of the divine inside, it's such a huge topic in its own right that it leads for anything and everything. And I suppose what we have a lot of theta healing practitioners who hear this as well, or people who are in the healing world in various modalities. Um, and I suppose you touched on it a bit with the question around the positivity, but how, when you come to do what we do and you witness people, have spontaneous remissions, like their scans said like they've got this in their body, terminal diagnosis or this, that, and the other, and then they do the inner work and they shift a few things and all of a sudden they're getting all clears and we can't find this and whatever you're doing keep on doing it kind of stuff. How do you, or how do we be a human and live with the awareness of the divine inside when we're going to work or there's bills to pay or there's you know um governments and whatevers.
Well, I would suggest that people start to accept the idea. Maybe have you ever considered the process of one cell? Have you ever actually looked at the process of one human cell? Pick one, it doesn't matter. And how many intricate processes happen, and how fundamentally what drives that cell at the end of the day, you break it down, it gets smaller, it gets smaller, it gets smaller. We get into the DNA, the mitochondria, and now we're talking about ATP. The energy, it's not a tangible thing. The energy that fuels DNA that allows your cells to create. There's like a million bazillion processes in one cell. And if we could just stop and go, wait a minute, I'm not doing that. There's no way that I'm doing that. I'm not that smart. Maybe I am and don't remember. Maybe we all are. But technically, I've done this by, okay, one cell and the processes. That has to be divinity. The thing that fuels every cell in my body, every strand of DNA is energy, measurable, but nonetheless energy. I'm like, wait a minute. There's something wild going on here. The cosmos is infinite. The more they look, the farther back they look, the more there is. They're scratching their head, and one of my great teachers that I love to study, talks about how if you want to understand the cosmos, figure out what's going on in your body, and you will understand the all that is. And so, just the magnificence and the possibility of how that cell, no matter what you do to it, can thrive, reproduce. Most people eat not that well. This is why healers have a job and doctors and so on and so forth. Everybody's got their place, but realizing the just the magnificence of that one small piece will open up. That's what it opened me up. I was like, wow, wait a minute. Rumi's right. We are the creator as individuals experiencing life, made in the image of, with the capabilities of. They never tell us that.
No, they're not raised on that.
No. Well, that would go against the grain of some other agendas, I think. But, we've all got our play in life, our purpose. We all came here, I believe, knowing what we were kind of getting into. Got to be a little bit of dogfighting in there, and a little bit of pain,
Yeah.
a little bit of love, a little bit of tragedy. You're going to be born, you're going to die, and they're both equally as important.
Yeah.
That's why that facing that mortality is important. It's just as important as being born as far as a soul perspective.
Mm.
So to me, realizing the divine inside is, well, it's easy. I witness miracles for a living. Are you freaking kidding me? I get to have these conversations and ask the universe to do stuff for people and watch their lives change, and they pay me for it. I'm like, this is getting crazy, right?
We're
Great
getting
job.
really wild now.
Right. I can be
Yeah.
happy and fulfilled and feel like I have purpose in what I'm doing. Wow, what a foreign concept. I wish they would teach that. Excuse me, folks. So, but
Yeah.
they don't. And there's a reason for all things. And I've just decided to quit arguing with the establishment and create my own perception. Free agency, baby.
Yeah.
I get to believe what I want. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean I get to make you do anything. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
want to. I want everyone to honor their own free will, because that's where we start really discovering our own gift. And maybe it's an artist, maybe it's a dancer, maybe it's a speaker. We don't know. Musicians, we're here to experience it all.
Yeah. Absolutely. And what okay, so what would you t say to
Thank you.
somebody who's you got something to add?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
last bit to that. The other thing about the awareness of the divine inside is there is no freaking way whatsoever this is an accident. And when you start looking on what it would take to engineer and plan this beautiful technology, soft technology of our bodies, and its ability to adapt to virtually any situation, is, if that's not divine, I don't know what is. You can feed this human body crap food, McDonald's, processed everything, and it'll live. Not as long or as happy or as healthy, but it will live. And the cell's ability to transmute toxicity into energy, well, that's a miracle.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
you answered the question I was going to ask, so there
and,
you go.
okay, cool. And I also met a man early on in studying all this that lives on air, had been for over a decade. He doesn't eat food. This is 30 years now. He's thriving. He looks so vibrant. He's thin. He's not emaciated. He's a thin man, but just brilliant, radiant in his energy, and does not look his age. hmm, how is that possible? I like food. Don't get me wrong. I like enjoy breaking bread with people, but if that's possible, then anything is,
Yeah,
hands down.
I love that. We, in a few weeks' time, you're going to be teaching one of the advanced theta healing classes, disease and disorders. Um, can
That's a
you share with everyone a little bit about that class? Even if people aren't in the position right now to take the class or to get involved, but just so people have an understanding or the ability to comprehend what that offers.
absolutely. We got to back up just a little bit. There was a Vienna Hild, and what happened, and they started figuring out that became basic. They played with it, and she started teaching her friends, but they weren't getting results she was, and she's like, what is this universe? And so that became the inception of the advanced class. They didn't really know what it felt like, a lot of these things, and if we don't know what something feels like, we could walk right past it every day and not recognize it. And so that was taught. It's like, okay, well, they were starting to be able to do some healings and get some results, but they were all getting broke. They couldn't support their lives. They had no money. And so that became the manifesting in abundance and a lot of those ideas. This is just a short history of theta healing. And people were getting results, and then but not like she was seeing that they could, and that became the birth of intuitive anatomy. They didn't understand these issues, subconscious sets of issues go with these organs and these systems, and broke all that down, discovering them all, and finding tried and true results, on all of it. And but they started doing healings, but not quite yet. And what she discovered was that if we have any subconscious fear about cancer or whatever, it could diminish our ability to witness a healing. And so that's what became the disease and disorders, to release the unknown or hidden subconscious fears around all kinds of things.
Right.
And
Because,
so it became, to me, it's the fear class. It's not really called that, but you go in and you're working on releasing the fears and the reservations and the hesitations you have about diving in. I meet wonderful healers. I've been training them for 2 decades, and when something bigger comes along, oh, little arthritis, okay, cool, I got it, and then somebody calls with stage 4 cancer and they call me up and they're freaking out. That's their fear.
right.
Oh, I can't do that. Well, you're not doing any of it. Creator does it all. So yeah, you can, but we don't know that till we figure it out. But it's the release of the fears around the different diseases, most common diseases and disorders on the planet right now,
Hmm.
which then the healing started getting wild. People all over were starting to get results. And
Yeah.
then it continues from there. We could talk about the rest if you want, but it's just
Mhm.
been a journey, and so disease and disorders it's not so much a clinical study of diseases. There's a lot of information in that class, but really it's about here's the set of subconscious issues we found that are most common with these types of dysfunctions, I like to call it, and things that homeopathically that she has found works. This is the disclaimer, you got to find your own way, but there's a lot of great information in there around
Yeah.
herbs, things of that nature. We learn a little bit about that. Nobody becomes a doctor from this, but we do become better healers.
Yeah. There's something quite profound when somebody presents a condition to you as a healer, and you sit there and go, well, I don't know what to do with this, so let me go and check,
Right.
and see what I'm shown.
Right.
Um,
Because I don't have to
and
know.
I don't have, yeah, and
Not
I
really.
kind of live my daily life being, with the ethos that I don't know anything and I know everything all in the same time because we have access to it in every given moment to receive any information. Um,
Right.
and then when you go from being, you you have a look in the body and see and you witness, this beautiful chaos that is there. And you can kind of see this collection of all sorts of things in the way that you perceive the energy, but equally being shown what it looks like without it. And
Sure.
having that and witnessing that process be unraveled and changed. And again, like you said, beautiful synchronicity that takes place to create that harmony within the body. And then, the person then goes back to where they were diagnosed, and there's like, oh, well, there's no trace of this being a problem, or I can't see, you had this mass within the body, and all of a sudden it's not there.
Right.
And
Right.
there's nothing quite as rewarding as that, knowing that someone has taken that willingness of that manifestation to materialize. But equally, something that you said the other day really struck me was being patient when the healing isn't instant.
Yeah, I still don't like that either, but it's not up to me, right? As a healer, I don't get to decide any of that.
Right.
My job is to ask for a result, do my part, witness, and the things we would teach you in the classes and or whatever. But they're all instant. Every healing you will ever receive is instant. That instant moment might be right now. It might be in a week because the creator knows that in a week everything is perfect for the conditions. You might have needed to eat some avocado for it all to happen. It's insane what I've seen. It's not insane. It's beautiful and synchronistic and just to me mind boggling that something that simple changes someone's life. An avocado. Sometimes it's just thin air turning tumors and weird cells into nothingness. There's no describing it. But I'm with you. Yeah, nothing's topped this in life.
Yeah.
Nothing that I've ever done. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I to feel
Yeah.
good.
I want
When
more of that, more of that,
I was
more
a
of
younger man, I'd be jumping out of airplanes and shit. But
that.
this this does it. Because I'm just fascinated by the human mind and experience and the ways that we, without knowing it, create everything. You manifest the totality of your reality. You can't put that on anyone else. And I'm like, well, they hit me when I was little or whatever. It's like, yeah, but you manifested that. I'm like, what? Well, if I'm over here feeling unworthy, a little melancholy, a little wimpy, a little sad, a little something, of course I'm going to draw in a bully, right? It's just law of attraction, basic stuff. But and and I think some of the more fun things, like for this guy, diabetes, I think that was something I kind of lined myself up with before I got here, as well as at 33, you're gonna wake up, you're gonna realize what you're here to do. Not to say that what I did before wasn't what I was here to do, but it was time for a change.
Mm,
Nothing I've ever done. I had six-figure businesses, 30 employees. I've done a lot of things, and nothing tops this.
yeah.
And what I deem success. Now, you were talking about this earlier. We get geared and for proof, and if I work hard and can buy this car and this house and these nice clothes and this Versace bag or whatever, right? Then I'm successful. But you're not going to take any of that with you. How successful is it? Well, it's very successful while you're here. But what are you going to take with you? What do you think might have more value in an eternal experience? And considering those things and kind of anchoring your mind, giving that a virtual hug, if you will, allows the worldly things to be much easier. You're still going to chop your wood and fetch your water like every other human being. But it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't
Mm,
have to be extremely difficult all the time. Challenge is a requirement for growth, but challenge doesn't mean negativity. But the soul grows through challenge. It's always been that way. I think it always will be that way. And one of the biggest challenges we have is we said, oh, we'll come here and forget all the rules. We'll forget who we really are. Won't that be fun? And it is. I love remembering, watching people remember what they are, discovering their divine aspects, or what's the other term that's popular right now? The Christ itself, the Christ at heart.
Yeah,
It is all about love at the end of the day.
yeah,
I don't care if you love money or if you love people or if you love your dog. It's all about love at the end of the day.
yeah,
Because it's all just energy. It's all the same energy, and you break it down to its base element. Everything is made of the same one.
yeah,
Science is starting to measure this more and more.
yeah. So there's the proof for anyone who's looking for it, right?
We
You
could
just,
get into that conversation. I've been studying, but yeah, the proof is in your heart. In my life experience, I realize I can see things, I can look at that car, but when I'm sitting in it, if I've manifested a car, let's see, and I'm feeling, holy crap, this is mine, that's when it gets real. Because
yeah,
everything we do is about feelings. It drives everything every one of us ever does. Is to feel something. And I wanted to feel good. So
yeah.
do things that make you feel good. Well, I don't like doing dishes. That doesn't make me feel good. Well, then dream about rainbows while you're doing the damn dishes, you dumbass.
Load them in the dishwasher.
That is what the universe told me, quote unquote.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. And they're like, God calls you a dumbass. And I says, well, the creator, we're coming back to one of your earlier questions, is you. Okay. First of all, it's all of us. And so it talks to you like you talk because it is you. And that's going to be the easiest way, I believe, for an individual to begin to hear this conversation with creation that we all have. And I ask everyone, do you ever find yourself arguing with yourself in your mind? I've never had anyone tell me no. And then I ask this, what do you think you're arguing with? And what might happen if you just listen a little bit to that other voice? Don't, right? Just saying. We all
just
know
say,
right. We all
just
know right from wrong. And there's instant gratification and the ego, my way, I want it my way. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, and you can have a lot of it your way, but the other way is the higher self's way, and it might be more profound, might be of more longevity, more fulfillment. I don't know, it's always bigger in my experience. What I can create and express and receive in a soul mindset, if you will, versus my ego, it's always way better over here.
yeah.
You want caviar or spam? For those of you that don't know what spam is, it's artificial meat in America.
Well, we have it here too.
Okay, okay. So it's like, what do you want? And you can
Yeah,
make that choice and start to drink from whatever cup you like.
yeah,
Abundance, it isn't money to me. And at first it was, but that's where my human brain was. But it's the ability to know myself and
mm,
feel good about it. That makes me abundant.
yeah,
I never run out of energy. I do 30 healings in a day. They're like, how do you do it? And I'm like, well, first of all, it fills me up because I realize I'm not doing shit. The creator is incredible. I'm asking and I get to kick back and watch. And once we finally get that and the try goes away, I'm talking specifically more to the theta healers right now. But once that try goes away and you realize, creator, take care of this, show me, and you get silent and watch it, you'll be amazed at what it helps you remember,
yeah,
because nothing's new. It's all an inside job. Everything. Oh, wait a minute. Here's a new idea, maybe. Everything you need to complete this life successfully, you came with, is already inside of you. Don't go searching for it. Just sit down, get comfortable with yourself, and you'll start realizing who and what you are, and the answers will come. There's nothing new to learn.
yeah. That, I mean, for me personally, um, every time I attend a course or I'm teaching the theta healing classes, I always start with that I remember all of this.
Yes.
Right. And if I'm teaching, I download the class with that they remember all of this and it comes really easy to them. And it's so beautiful just to witness how people come alive and go, "Oh, I get it. It was that simple." Or like,
Right.
"Oh, but hang on, I just witnessed a healing. Is that real?" Well, what did you just do? Like, or what did you just remember that was really easy for you that you knew but just got programmed out of you?
Well, to the theta healers, I'll say this: this is the world according to Sean. There's one bottom belief. Period. All the beliefs. There's one bottom belief, and for me, it's that I am Sean Michael Campbell. That's the belief holding me back
Mm,
because as an individual, I had been taught and learned in probably lifetimes to identify who I am based on what I've achieved rather than what I've accomplished. Now, for me, achievement is okay. I grew a family and I built a house and this and that. But what did I achieve? Oh, I became forgiving. I became more kind. In this lifetime, totally patience has been a huge thing for me. And I would trade any of that for anything
right.
because and they're just word semantics. You could flip all that, but that's really, it's a balance of both worlds, one foot in heaven and one on earth. And what am I really accomplishing in this life? How well did you love? How well did you love? I had a near death experience once and it messed me up. As much as it blessed me, it messed me up because I'm still trying to figure out how to put into logic, intellectualization. Oh, that's where I squirreled earlier. Because the intellectualization makes the computers, this, that, the communication, medicine, food, heat. We live in an incredible time. The one thing we cannot intellectualize is love. It's bigger
Mm,
than us. And I'm watching people try repeatedly and repeatedly to intellectualize the one thing you cannot. And that was the other part of acceptance for staying positive. Quit trying to figure out love and just doing it, being in it, letting it happen. Some days are good, some days are not. Also, understanding that acceptance isn't yes to the good. Oh, I love the rainbows. No to the cloudy days. It doesn't work that way. You're going to be yes to all that is. You're going to find a divine acceptance there. And then the rainy days don't depress you anymore. Oh, the water grows things. That's your natural state of reaction. Whereas before it was like, oh, winter again, gloomy and cold again.
yeah.
Boo, boo. No, no, you're all worth so much more than that. Buy an umbrella, skip in the rain, play like a kid. And so that intellectualization is powerful and a detriment. And so if everybody quit trying to figure out love and just ask, be still, and feel, they'll get their answers profoundly on anything. You don't have to be a special meditation expert or anything.
Yeah.
God's talking to all of us all the time.
Yeah.
So
And we're just not attuned to listening.
we weren't taught. They
Right.
told us to focus when we were little. Did they ever show us? No, I didn't ever get shown. I was put in fear that if I didn't shut up, I was going to get in trouble. That's what happened for me when I was a little kid when they said focus, because I was a little boy. Well, I want to go outside and play. I don't want to read math,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's where I was at. I was a daydreamer.
Yeah.
So, how do you want to live? If today was your last day, I'm asking everyone this. If this was your last day, okay, tomorrow, after tomorrow, because you guys are at night, you got one day left. What are you going to do? For real. Think about that. If you only had one day left and you knew it, what would you do? Most people's sincere answer is I would let everyone I love know how important they are to me, how much I love them, how grateful I am that they've been a part of my life. That's the most common answer when people get real about that.
Mm.
Hmm. Well, why the fuck aren't you doing it now? Because there's no excuse not to.
Yeah.
Do on that and make the most of every day. We got another question.
Melanie says, feel reverence for everyone and everything.
Absolutely. Love it. Absolutely. Because everything is important.
Yeah.
Everything is important. Everything is divine.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
People are easy for me because the spark of God in me can see the spark of God in you. And so I view everyone as the creator in some form. And
Yeah.
that's easy to respect. If you're some asshole down the road, well, then I could get in the human mode, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
But equally,
Every,
like to add into that, something that I used to say some years ago was like everything is a reflection. So if you're seeing a lot of crappy people show up, like where are you being crappy? Right?
right.
And
Oh,
you
yeah.
might not be that to other people. You might be really good at not being that to other people, but there's a high probability you're being that to yourself. So the
Correct.
thing is, it still has to show up because that in some capacity is what you're being. Like attract like isn't just good, it's good, bad, and indifferent, and however you perceive it.
Well, the nearest like attracts like or the nearest vibrational equivalent. And in the universe, that's a lot of gray area.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
You put out, look, it's cause and effect is a real thing. And if you can be positive and think positive and say positive things as much as possible, what do you think is going to happen? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because it is coming back. I challenge every theta healer I've ever met to this. Take one day of your life and send everyone you interact with a healing of unconditional love and forgiveness. Watch what happens to your world. I mean, everyone. Sit in a coffee shop, hit every person. Riding in it, riding on the tube, everyone. Take a moment, one by one. Don't bless the world and then forget it. One by one, it's a practice, but it wires your mind. It does some
Yeah,
crazy, cool
yeah, yeah,
things. But you'll live a whole new world in a matter of a day. And I've watched this happen. I did this. You're dying again. I'm like, shit, again? Now what? You know what? Make a long story short, creator says, why don't you go do this? And I'm like, all right. Um, Changed everything. Those problems, by the way, were gone. The next time I went back to the doctor, they were no longer existent. Oh, we must have had a bad scan. Um,
sure, sure
about
thing.
the nearest vibrational equivalent. What was I sending out to all these people? And I went back and I looked at this and it's like, well, ultimately, I was sending healing, I guess. What I get? A healing without doing nothing, except for I did everything. I chose to give and serve, to
Yeah,
learn. Just send everybody one day.
I love that.
It's so simple.
I love that.
I do too. And then I was like, oh, this is good shit. I love this more. And I just kept doing it until it became automatic.
Yeah. I think that's the key thing that we come back to in our conversation tonight is consistently doing the same thing, right? And of the thing that's good because or the thing that is good for us, right? And I know that when we have a routine, when I put my son to bed, it's right, 10 things that you're grateful for and 10 things that you love about yourself, and that's how he goes to bed. And
Sure.
last night he was like, can you do 50 things? And I was like, well, I'll do 50 things if you do 200. Right. I'm trying to get him into the habit of this being his life, right? And he just he in the past he would go, oh, I don't want to do that many, or that's too many. But last night he just went into reeling off, right? And it was just reeling, and he was like, your turn now. And we weren't counting. And it was just like, he goes, oh, that feels really good. And I said, that's the state I want to get you to every night and every day and throughout your day. Because when you get that and you come away from counting, it just becomes what you want it to be. And when you're in that, you become more of you. And then he responded with, and when I'm more of me, I get more of what I want.
Correct.
Right. Because that's
Wow.
what we're teaching him is like, we,
By a child.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And
Simplify. Couldn't be any simpler.
if we tried, it wouldn't have got there. Right. And I feel like modeling that for me is how I learn even deeper, right? Because I can hold him to account and be like, well, have you done your gratitudes? Have you done this? Have you done that? And because I'm holding him responsible for doing these things in his day, he repeats it back and calls me to action. Well, I want to hear what you love about yourself, and I want to hear about what you're grateful for. Right.
And
And
in that conversation, this is that communication I was referencing earlier, what you are, advocating and creating in your household. If we can get a community, a city, a country, a world doing this, holy cow, that
yeah,
might be freaking awesome.
yeah,
Like to be a part of something like that. And so we are here. We are doing the exact same thing, right?
yeah. And I think it's important for people, we are having a human experience and we do get into the very humanness of it all. And if we
Part
can do that
of the
without
community,
judgment, that
right?
that enables us to sort of plant these seeds or these pillars of stability that gets us to be living more of this divinity. Like, you know, he is a pillar in his, like, without having to hold up anything, but because I'm like, right, have you done this? Have you done that? Have you done this? I then get that reflection back and it's like, well, have you? Right. And that enables us to remain positive or um, consistent to nurturing ourselves, putting in the goodness, because when you've got little eyes on you, you're a bit more cautious about how you act. There's
I,
love that you don't want to distort or,
I found a little bit the opposite eventually.
okay.
At the fifth child, I finally figured out what the hell I was doing.
I'm only on one, so forgive me.
Yeah, right, right. Yeah, the first one, just all the books out the window and just go for it. But it was like being who I am, truly, authentically, who I am with anyone has more power of my ability to influence and you guys hopefully to heal and my kids to be strong, to be confident, to be inspired, to figure out what makes them happy, and then let's pursue it on that for you creating a life instead of go be a doctor. Let's figure out who you are,
Yeah,
right? And I
yeah,
found that me being open, honest, and just exactly who I'm at, no holding back, gives them the subconscious automatic permission to do the same.
yeah, yeah,
Right. So it's like what you're talking about, but kind of an expansion of that. And it's just like, and just be who you are,
yeah,
Kids need they're so much stronger and more capable than we give them credit for. They're
yeah,
actually a lot smarter in the simple logic or wisdom of love than most adults. They keep it simple. You watch kids when they're 5 years old get in a fight, it is over 90 seconds later and they're playing again.
yeah,
And we're the evolved ones.
yeah,
Just saying, we can
yeah,
learn from
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that.
for sure.
So so being the observer and just witnessing life and watching, but with the children, being who I am. I'm just a white guy from America that didn't know shit, and I still don't think I know anything, but wild, wonderful things are starting to happen.
Yeah,
You're right. When you get one question answer, you realize there's 10 more, and I know nothing.
yeah,
But I approach things that way now purposefully because if I get certain about anything, I've stopped the growth.
yeah,
Growth is eternal. You can always learn more about a subject.
yeah,
So I am certain of nothing, nor will I ever choose to be, because I want the ability to grow and evolve in any area.
yeah, yeah. That is,
These are all aspects and thinking of the divine inside. Back to that. Theta healers Find a virtue that makes you the happiest. When people are more forgiving with you or kind, whatever it is, figure that out. Think about the way your world treats you. Find the virtue that's your most favorite and do belief work on that until it happens. And I can't tell you what it is, but you will not miss it
Yeah.
because it'll be different for everybody because of that unique flavor we all have. So,
Yeah.
it's a virtue game for words. To put it in words, this whole life is about the acquisition and acquiring of and learning of virtues.
Hmm.
That's the love languages of the all that is, right? Every virtue you can think of. And how do you want to play? Well, first of all, let's figure out how to play. Heal! I've never seen work, not once.
No. And it's not fun.
No, and it could create hemorrhoids and stuff.
Yeah.
So anything's possible. We don't realize our thoughts, but the mindfulness also. We I want to win the water, and the universe is like, all right, we can do that, and then we go, oh, but it ain't gonna happen. There's too many people. We're throwing out and calling back constantly. It's the way we think. It's not what we think.
The way.
The way we think, and we cancel positive, negative. So many people all day long. Well, I'm insecure, and I'm like, well, quit saying that for starters. Let's look at that. Or people got excuses for their negative thinking like nothing on earth I've ever found to
Yeah.
justify, but they're trying to justify their experience, and we don't need to. I don't know that you ever can. What if we just accept that we're magnificent, that we're divine, that this is happening because we're freaking awesome?
Like the most phenomenal creators that can create all of this chaos and
Made to create infinitely, I might add.
yeah.
Made to create infinitely, so it's okay to want more. Don't do it from a place of lack, but it's okay to want more.
Yeah.
Well, let's fall in love with one person. That was a great idea. And then I had a family. I'm like, well, now I'm in love with, 5 or 6 people. And then I was like, well, there's a whole world. Hmm. All right, let's play with that.
Yeah. And there's a lot of love to give when you actually receive the creator of all that is. There is.
Infinite.
You just have it for everything and everyone and of all species, of all kinds. It's just it's a different experience. And for those of you who are new to the concept of theta healing, I invite you to go and experience it. Um, Sean and I are both teaching. There's a whole world of teachers out there, and yeah, it's special. I've experienced different modalities, and I think every modality in its own right is a gift. Um, but for me personally, nothing came or has come close to what theta healing does.
I'm looking for more, but I haven't found it yet. As far as technique, Vienna, for me, this is the world according to Sean. This woman was able to take the best of every modality I could find and put it in one place and make it work. And it works.
Yeah.
So simple. Get connected. Okay, there. I'm feeling the little God tingle. Ask for something. Watch it in your middle of your mind. Imagine. I thought I was making shit up for years. I wasn't. People were healing, but imagine, witness. That's what that really means.
Yeah.
Things can change. I mean, there's the nuts and bolts of the modality for those of you that don't know. The tools, the digging, and the downloads, the different things we've talked about are aspects of things that we might need to do if you don't heal. But theta healing at its essence is simple. Command a damn healing and see what happens. Give it a moment. Don't get mad if they didn't heal right in front of your eyes. It might be on next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that's okay because that's not up to me. And I learned all this doing healings and doing the work and figuring it out. But it's just like, man, throw it out there and dig if you need to.
Yeah.
when it comes to doing work on people. Don't
Yeah.
start with the digging. This is the biggest mistake I see people do. Somebody calls for healing, they immediately start digging. I'm like, no, 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 no.
No.
Do healing.
Yeah.
Back up, take a deep breath, see what happens, follow the path, and you'll know within a moment if you need to dig or not.
Yeah.
But more and more, you know what I'm finding? For the people that call me, they don't need to dig. They just want to get better and they're healing. The vibration is so high on the planet right now.
Hmm.
The vibration's high. People go, war, famine, slavery, kidnapping, all the shit going on in our world, right? That's awful, but the vibration is up. And so if the war and the tensions and all that crap vibrationally are clear up here, guess what else is too? Vibration isn't selective. It's not yes or no. It's yes and no together always.
Yeah.
So the love is there, the vibration, the power, the magnitude, whatever your words are for personal power and ability. You don't
Yeah.
have to have great abilities to do any of this because you already are the great ability. Whatever your name is, that is your great ability. Own it.
Mm.
Own it. Don't be arrogant. Don't be egotistical. But I'm Sean. I'm a guy from originally from Idaho, and wow, who would have thought that I can't drop names, but I've got to meet some of the most impactful, powerful people in this world. And that's not about me. It's like I never in a million years would have thought anything like that was remotely possible for me.
Yeah.
World leaders are just as screwed up as everyone else. Rich people are just as messed up as poor people. We've all got our bag of issues that
Yeah.
we came here to learn from and grow through, and we are. And I love what I love most about theta healing is it gives me the ability to choose and expedite my growth. Everybody is changing beliefs in their lifetime. By the time somebody usually gets 70 or 60s, they're more patient, often more kind, more forgiving, on average. We learn and evolve these virtuous aspects of self through living. Well, why take a lifetime to learn forgiveness when you might be able to do it in an hour, 10 minutes, 10 months? Any of those numbers versus a lifetime, right? It's like, and it gives me the ability to continue to evolve that part of myself. But I was hooked from the very first healing because I couldn't deny, even though I couldn't measure it and quantify it, I could feel it and I was experiencing it. And it was undefinable and undeniable. Something bigger than I am rocking my body. It was incredible.
Yeah. There aren't really the words to quantify it other than really go and have an experience. And, when this gets uploaded to YouTube, I'll put the contact details for you guys to be able to reach myself or Sean through the Really Simply You website. Um, and yeah, Sean, we'll figure out the best way for people to come and contact you there and how we redirect that. Because actually I've recommended Sean to everyone that I've crossed paths with in the last probably 2 months now. And I highly, 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 highly recommend that each and every one of you has a one-to-one session with Sean. Um, just there are no words. There are no words. And Um, Sean and I were recently talking about the difference in a feminine voice and a masculine voice does in a healing. And for me, I'd worked on certain stories in my reality for most of my time within theta healing, and I think it was on the first phone call Sean and I had, and he just said a download that I had heard many times, but because it came from a man's voice, it just hit and created a different level of healing because of where the trauma was related to masculine energy, right? So, um, I highly recommend that you all have a session with Sean. Just,
Let's grab. Do we got time?
yeah,
Do we want to take 10 minutes and grab someone and just do one?
Does anybody want to have a healing right here, right now on the live? I can. Is anyone up for that? It is going to go live. Sorry, it will be available on replay to contribute to that healing for everyone. If anyone does want to have that, let's just make sure there's space here on the chat is quiet, so we might have a few shy ones. Okay, so Catherine's saying yes, please.
Perfect. Put her on the screen.
Okay, Catherine, do you want to unmute yourself and pop your camera on? And I'd just like to add for everyone, so as Sean is facilitating Catherine here, if there are any downloads or anything that you like the sound of that you want to receive too, just say yes. And as Sean's doing his thing, he'll witness that healing for you too.
Hello, Catherine.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Okay, here's actually what I'd like to add to what Katerina said. Think of something you want to heal in your life. I don't care if it's your body, you want to manifest more money. Everyone, think of something you want to heal and just hold that intention as well. And we'll get you hooked up. We'll see what happens. So, what would you like to work on today, friend?
Definitely physical health, please.
What have we got going on, buddy?
Um, uh, about 15 years of illness that's just been formally diagnosed as MCAS, which is mast cell activation syndrome.
Right.
It's where I seem to be dysregulating to, it can be temperature change, a fragrance, a food, um, and it just creates a whole lot of havoc physically. Um,
You're super duper sensitive to everything,
yeah.
right? And what do they think is the origin of this thing you're experiencing?
Um, I don't think they really know.
Right.
I would say, knowing myself and the journey that I'm on, um, it would be childhood trauma that was then possibly activated with the loss of a baby um, about 15 years ago, 16 years ago. And I think um, probably just the patterns in my life as well that have sort of contributed, I guess.
How much cleansing have you done?
A lot, a lot. Over the years, I've done a lot of detoxing, a lot of gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, grain-free, a lot of, yeah, I've done a lot of spiritual, energetic.
For
I'm a
sure.
kinesiologist myself, so um, generally I live quite healthily, but my body does not. You wouldn't know that. So.
Right. Well, you might shock people a little bit, but have you ever gotten tested, like heavy metals tested, got your minerals tested? Have you ever went and done
Yeah,
all? How much
yeah.
how much metal did they find?
Um, Not a lot came up in the last test that I had recently.
I'm just
Yeah,
heavy metals, and so do you study theta healing?
yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so what we're looking at here is I'm feeling strongly, and you can muscle test all this, but that
Yeah.
there's incredible sensitivity towards the awareness of fake and artificial things, really overstimulating you and the overwhelm. And you talk about the childhood experiences. You want to talk about getting overwhelmed,
Mm.
and then again later in life. And so there's this repetition of loss or feeling powerless to do anything about a given moment.
Yeah.
Sound
Yeah.
familiar?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and we can all maybe have experiences like that, but the truth is we're never powerless. We can always do something, but when we're kids, we don't know. When we're adults, we go into shock because bad things happen.
Yeah.
And so we look at the context of, well, what's the best thing about being overwhelmed?
Um,
Overstimulated. What's the best
yeah.
thing?
Well, I think the pattern that I've been trying to break is or clear is in being overwhelmed. Um, the pattern is that I'm being diligent in trying to see what's happening in my field.
Okay,
So I
cool.
guess so I guess the overwhelm is possibly what's the best thing about that?
That's the best thing about it. Well,
Maybe maybe that it if I'm in overwhelm that then it forces me to stop and pull back from that over diligence.
oh, so you quit being a control enthusiast and you get present.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
maybe.
Cool, cool. And no, it's okay. We're all control freaks until we figure that out.
Hmm.
Right? This is nature. It's life. No harm, no foul. This isn't bad, but and so it's like, okay, and so it gives you the ability to feel like you have some kind of control of your reality, even though you don't in
Mm,
those areas, right? Okay,
yeah,
so there's the best thing. It gives you an illusionary sense of control, which we all seek and we should have because we don't want to feel powerless. And so that must imply that some other part of you is feeling not so empowered about all this. And trust me, I know the sick walk, it's not fun. But what's the worst thing about being overstimulated? The absolute worst thing your brain could come up with around being overstimulated.
um, it's being discombobulated.
Right. The opposite of what we just discovered, right? The
Yeah.
control is an illusion, and so then I have no control. I'm discombobulated. Love that word. What happens when Bob comes in? Right? Been there, done that. I feel you. So, but what happens when you get discombobulated?
um,
You typically, an individual will go discover where they actually do have a little control, and they'll push that button
mm,
instead of trying to push every button.
mm,
That makes sense?
yeah,
So we take the best thing and we go, well, it gives me the ability to reach, try to figure out what I'm doing and feel like I have some sense of control. But then that backfires because we're trying to control everything instead of the one thing we can, probably in a given moment, one or two things. And then that back feeds on us. Discombobulated Bob comes in. And we feel like we're bouncing up and down in the water, right?
yeah,
Can't do nothing. I'm frozen. I'm impaled. But then it forces us to be present, to
yeah,
withdraw from everything that we're connected in, and find that one area that we can hone in on and make ourselves a little bit better,
yeah, yeah.
right? So here's what your disease is doing for you. It's working really well. The problem is it's a shit rough road that sucks, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. And so we go, all right, well, why am I doing that? I stop and I ask myself, I'm like, okay, now that we've laid it out, we're just putting all this on a whiteboard, right? We're
Yeah,
staying objective. We're just looking at it. We don't want to criticize any of this. We need to judge and assess it all, but we don't want to criticize any part of ourselves, guys. What we feel is natural, and there's no bad response if you're not out there murdering people and stuff. So we go, all right. So we got your play here, and it's like, so to me, if I was going to put that on a whiteboard and be clinical about it, I'm going to say this individual is lost in balance. Does that make sense? Overdue
yeah,
doesn't work. Underdue does kind of works, but it doesn't feel good. And so this individual is looking for some kind of balance because it's
yeah,
one extreme or the other, right?
yeah. Which is really ironic because that's pretty much how I would describe myself as a therapist. Is I help people find their their balance.
Welcome to the program, sister. Being a healer. So okay, we've got a baseline belief discovered here, guys. This person's lost in balance. I would ask you to muscle test that, but I think we're good. So, what's the worst thing about being lost in the discovery of balance?
Um,
Conceptually, don't think about your life. Conceptually, what would
what the worst thing about being lost in the well, I'm in a reaction rather than
right,
being able to respond.
right? You're in a state of non-self control,
Yeah.
reactionary state rather than response, and if one is lost in balance, they don't have any footing or bearing or where do I go? I'm lost. When I'm lost, I don't know up from down, back from forth. And then so then I people will seize up, they don't know what to do. They
Yeah.
start to feel immobilized, a little stuck. Makes sense?
Yeah.
And and so if we bring all that, so I don't know what to do creates a freeze, or immobilization is the
Yeah.
word they're wanting me to share with you.
Yeah.
And so you're immobilizing yourself, but your cells are doing this. This isn't anything you get out of bed every day and decide, right?
No.
This is what your cells are doing, and they don't know what to grab, and so the what feels like a cascade of miscommunication starts to happen, and that's the overwhelm.
Yes.
I just, no matter how I look at this, man, there's, I'm not sure which one. I hope you can go find out, but there's one of the heavy metals that's really liking to hang out and hide.
Well, I was really shocked that there was nothing there, and I questioned that.
Hide. Well, in modern science, they're learning all kinds of things. The
Yeah.
liver can hang on to things forever and stay in the liver. And if they're not, I mean, it's hidden a little bit. And so I look at that and said, okay, what are you hiding from? We bring it back to the
Yeah.
reality, right?
Yeah.
First thought, we've discovered all this and you're seeking balance, and everybody go, let's heal that. And I'm like, no, let's get to the bottom.
Yeah.
She's lost in balance because she's not sure yet what she wants to do.
I think yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Um Probably my brilliance.
And why does that scare you?
Um
I
because
think,
it's foreign to me. Like it just feels foreign to me.
why though?
Um
It's in you, you know it. How many times have you been told that you're brilliant?
um
Here, let's make this simple. I think you're freaking brilliant. What is your response? And I am sincere in that.
I have two aspects. Part of me that absolutely agrees it's just a really quiet knowing. And then the other part that just calls bullshit.
Right. So we're back to which BS do we want to play, right?
Yeah.
Bullshit or synchronicity. But you said I have a split aspect.
Yeah.
So you're separate.
Yeah.
What are you separate from inside of yourself? Because we've got an individual that
Mm.
creates overstimulation, not on purpose, but it is overstimulated by the reality, which falls back on and nothing works. And then, oh, okay, I can only focus on one thing because that's all the energy I've got left,
Yeah.
more or less. And that's getting you to focus on something that you think you're separate from. So
Yeah.
putting all that into context, what is it that you're separate from? First thought, if you didn't know.
Um, well, the first thought was myself.
Thank you for an honest answer. There's your belief, sister.
Yeah.
We could complicate it. We could dig more. We could do other things, but why? But that's a core belief. It's teaching you something. So, guys, now we've discovered a belief. Let's go discover what she's learning from it. You want to heal, I assume, right, Catherine?
Yeah, I sure do.
Okay, so now we've got your belief. So, what is it teaching you? This play. Now, pretend you're a spiritual being. No, don't pretend. Realize you are. The
Um,
cells, the disease, all of this is pinning you down, basically, slowing you down, whatever words you want to use,
yeah.
so that you'll focus and realize non-separation.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's working, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
But some days all you got left is I got to tune out of my body, my world, my everything, and take me to love, creator, help me
Yeah.
feel better, right?
Yeah.
Right. There
Daily.
you are reaching for your higher self. So here's the whole
Yeah.
discomfort of this situation playing out, but you're learning something from this as a soul, a
Yes.
virtuous thing.
Yeah.
What is it making you better at this thing? If you're not as controlling and putting your nose in other people's businesses as much,
It's all.
preferably only when asked.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
hard one. I'm a
Yeah.
parent,
Yeah.
but it's a tricky one.
I think it's authenticity. and truth is
Okay.
what I've really learnt.
How about resilience,
Yeah,
devotion,
yeah, yeah,
commitment,
yeah.
realization?
Mhm.
Well, it's
Yeah.
teaching you to be devoted. Here's what I think, in my professional opinion, that this play is teaching you how to be devoted to yourself.
Right.
And you're so afraid of putting yourself first because then you will be, and you were told what when you were little?
Sorry, I missed that last bit.
Do all that because you were told the opposite of that when you were little, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Here we
Yes,
are
I
now
was.
full circle, and you accepted that to please whom? Who was it that you people pleased back then with this choice? Was it mom or dad, grandma, grandpa?
I think it was. I the first thought was dad, but I actually think it was more mum.
It was like mom, right?
Yeah.
And so this is how you connect to the feminine
Mm.
through a disability or a dysfunction.
Yeah.
So you're learning how to be devoted to the woman that you are, or the feminine aspect. You'd put that in your own words if we were going to muscle test all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's teaching you devotion, and so what do you think is the hardest thing about learning devotion through illness like this? Getting shut down, nothing working, and then it works a little, and all this dance, right? What's the worst thing about learning devotion this way?
It's the isolation. It's the lost or missed opportunities to really live and be involved in my day-to-day life. Um,
Isolation
Isolation. Yeah.
with all of those other things expanded, right? And so,
Yeah.
so you have to isolate yourself to be devoted to yourself.
Yeah.
But you're isolating yourself from yourself. Try and find devotion to yourself.
Yeah.
And there's that imbalance.
Yeah.
So it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
There's a deeper belief there that says something along the lines, put this in your own words, but it's like, if you love yourself, here, let me back up just a little bit. If you love yourself completely to the depth of your knowledge and awareness, what's going to happen to your world? If you become so devoted to your mission, who you are, the divine feminine, whatever your cause is, what's going to happen if you put yourself first? Because the truth is, no matter who you are, you're the most important person in your own world because you're
Mm.
the center of your world.
Mm.
And that whole world was created just for you.
Mm.
And God put 8.5 billion other people in there for you to dance with and hang out with, laugh with, and fight with, and all of that. But
Yeah.
it's for you.
Mm.
So in that cancellation, that devotion clash, I'll call it, is a misunderstood worth.
Yeah.
And I think it's as simple as you do not know what you're worth as a woman.
Mm. Yeah.
You want to change that?
Would really like to. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's teach you what it's like to be you.
Yeah.
Just the way you are. Look at her body language. It's done. As a healer, I'm like, ding, ding. This is over. We're just going to watch her now. I could get all fancy and eloquent and do all this stuff, but it's like, look at her, guys. She just went immediately loving herself, soothing herself, nurturing herself, showing herself that she matters in a moment. Keep doing this forever. You'll have so much more to give. You've already mastered devotion. You can let that go. Can we teach yourselves what it's like to communicate healthy, to know who you are beyond the identity and the idea of a dysfunction in your body? Childhood trauma, blah, 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 all that shit be gone, yes?
Yes.
In association with this idea. So, what does that feel like?
Feels It feels lighter. It feels calm, peaceful, expansive.
The opposite of anxiety or being overstimulated.
Yeah.
Sweet. Here's your homework. Thank you so much for this opportunity, by the way.
Thank you.
Having the courage and the bravery to share this with the world, and that speaks a lot to your character, and I would love to see you create a 10-page list of all the beautiful characteristics that are Catherine.
Thank you.
This will, I'm being serious here, this will set things in, help you discover, because you're so devoted. You were already there, you just couldn't see it because of the miscommunication,
Yeah.
due to a lack of understanding that I'm worth something. I matter. This is what you're taking in right now.
Yeah.
You're very important. Your life is very relevant. Just saying.
Yeah. Thank you. I'll do that.
Small things. But when you start feeling the overwhelm come in, right? And we all will. We'll manifest this thing even when it feels one more time just to show ourselves so we got it. When you start recognizing the overwhelm, you're going to do this. Shut up, Catherine. I'm not doing this. I am worth more today. And you will be
Yeah.
astounded at what that might do for you to help rewrite, some of those neural pathways. And we want to find that hidden metal. I hope you call me on the side. This
Yeah.
would be a fun one. So,
Thank you.
yeah, thank you very much for your courage and your time and
I
willingness to.
appreciate that. Thank you.
I think you've just helped a bunch of people, sister. Just saying. Great.
Absolutely, absolutely phenomenal. Um, Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Sean. Because yeah, it takes a ton of bravery to be in your absolute truth and vulnerability, especially on a worldwide platform. And like you said, Sean, her just showing up and being willing has, created a phenomenal healing for so many people. Um, I
You want
love,
to know guys what's cool, and then I'll let us wrap this up. But what's cool about a food bar situation or a disease? We end up giving up a little bit, as much as that sucks that it happens that way, and then we're open
yeah,
to infinite possibility. And
yeah,
Catherine's got her wits end, man, and so because of that, oh, it's so much easier to heal. Can be,
yeah.
yeah.
It's that essence of surrendering, and usually that surrendering comes as a giving up. Um, I've over the years I've looked back with hindsight and remember the moment that I was yearning to have a baby. It was the beginning of my theta journey was on that, and I'd helped so many people have their babies, and I was like, "Where's my fucking baby?" Oh, and one day, I turned to Jay, and I was like, "Oh, another client has just messaged, 2 sessions. She's pregnant after trying for, so many years. And here I am. I just want a baby and it's not happening." I was like, "Well, you know what? I'm giving up." I was like, "I don't care anymore." I was like, 2018, I was like, "We are just going to have the wildest year." I was like, "We're going to have fun. We're going to travel." And I was like, "And at the back end of 2018, we can think about a baby." I was like, "Because I'm done. I'm done." Like, I've asked Creator knows what I want, and I'm done. 2 weeks later, our
Yeah,
son was conceived,
I
and
know.
he was born at the back end of 2018.
Yeah,
So we did have to think about a baby at the back end of 2018 because he was in my arms.
and
Um, and it was that completely, I'm gonna give up on trying to control this and just be, and I'm gonna have loads of fun.
well,
And
part of detachment, right?
yes, yes.
Which is a dirty word. That maybe that's a better topic for another time. We
Yeah,
talk about
yeah, yeah, yeah. But
detach. You never let go of that in your surrender. And that's why you were able to achieve what you did once you let go. But that's that back to Catherine's example and many of mine, but trying to control and I want it now. And that's actually control in a weird way. And Once
Yeah.
you let go, the control becomes yours, and the universe is like, I've been trying to give you a baby, in your case, probably for months.
Years.
Funny how that works, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And what was really funny is that, like I would meet psychics along the way, or, I would be at a class and they'll be like, oh, you got a baby coming in. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's waiting. And so am I.
I'm so tired of hearing that. Where is it? I've had those readings too. Where's my soulmate? Oh, you're going to be here tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, tomorrow was like 10 years later.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because there's no time when it comes to the creator, right?
Well, there's that, and I was impatient.
Yeah.
No,
And the
no, now.
impatient
And so
blocks.
in my request, I was pushing it away.
Yeah.
But what an
Uh,
amazing.
I love it. And I love you. And I'm so grateful for you showing up in my life. And everything that we are co-creating together. Um, the
It's a good.
last few weeks have been nothing short of amazing. Um, for those of you who don't know, Sean will be teaching the Mastery Theta Healing class on the 2nd of February till the 13th. So if you have the prerequisites for that class, come and join us. It is a phenomenal class, and it will just take you to the next level of your healing and development, um, and open you up more to the gift of you. Um, for those of you who are new to theta healing and may want to explore more, I'll be teaching the foundation classes, which are prerequisite classes to all of the mastery classes from the end of this month. You can click the links to the Really Simply You website where you can register for any of these classes. And we will send you an email of how to register directly with the Think Institute, and we'll be there to support you to develop your journey with this phenomenal modality. Uh, Later on in the year, in a few months' time, Sean will also be teaching intuitive anatomy. And just for those of you who are new to all of this all happens online. So wherever you are in the world, it doesn't really matter. You just need to be able to show up at the times, because this is a live class, or all of the classes are live classes and they are not recorded. So your full participation is required. Sean, is there anything that you'd like to add to that?
I thank you. I love you. I bless you, all of you. I'm grateful
Thank
for this opportunity, and find a teacher, change your life. Read the book if you haven't. I know that 20 minutes every day of a little bit of work. Well, I used to want to walk on water. That was my metaphor. I don't want to walk on water. Jesus said we could all do it, and then some. And the fact that we could heal disease with thought and emotional choice kind of is walking on water, you guys. Think about it. If I can do it, you can do it. If you can do it, you might inspire your neighbor, your child, or your friend to do it. And that's the kind of domino effect I'd like to see happen in this world. I do see it happening. Laughter, humor, happiness is contagious. It's
you.
highly addictive to people. They want it. What would love do?
Exactly that.
Do that.
Yeah.
You cannot go wrong with that philosophy.
Yeah.
I mean, I could add to this for you,
Yeah. Me too.
but we
We've
got
sat many a times and spoken for hours. We say, you got a quick 10 minutes, and it becomes an hour and a half later, or 2 hours, because once you just get the divine inside, you see it in everything.
yeah.
And even when it's challenging, it's still divine. It's still present with that divinity that is gifting us the opportunity to choose something greater.
Well, a lot of people think life is a mirror, and it isn't. That's a group conscious belief. It's actually, I think, better to look at it as a reflection of what I am. And if I recognize the divine inside, then I don't have to try in any way, shape, or form to recognize the divinity in you. It's
Yeah.
just And it's everything that you are.
Yeah.
Your happy mode, your mad mode, it's all that is.
Yeah.
And every one of us is perfect, pure, just the way we are.
Yeah.
We don't need healing. We're not sick. We're not broken. We just think that way.
Yeah.
Therefore, it becomes.
Yeah.
So let's start thinking love just a little more. Just a little.
Absolutely.
Maybe just even one thank you right out of bed as an automatic first idea. That would be huge for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You want to know what I really do when I wake up? Sean, welcome to the best day of your life so far. It's going to be awesome. And I do that shit. I pump it up, even if I don't feel it, even if I can't hardly move because my body is racked with pain. I still do that. It's
Mm,
default now because I would practice it. In the beginning, I put a sign on my ceiling, best day ever. So when I woke up, I'd see it, I'd program myself through practice. Welcome to the best day of your life so far. You can create anything. What do you want, buddy?
yeah.
We are
Yeah.
limitless. Now you keep
Yeah.
one I want to add. We are limitless.
Yeah.
We don't know it.
Yeah.
So again, thank all of you. This has been wonderful. Hope we do it again.
We're getting a lot of thank yous in the comments. So yeah, Sean, once again, thank you. Thank you for giving us your time, your energy, your presence, your healing, all of it that you have given us today. Um, we will bring more of these conversations. So if you want to ask in questions, if there are, things you want answered whilst you're on your journey, please feel free to email us. Again, you can do so at the Really Simply You website, and I'll pass them on to Sean. We'll get talking and co-creating and just bring you more of what it is that you're seeking answers for in whatever way we can. So, for those of you on my side of the world, I wish you a very wonderful, sweet, blissful night's rest. And for those of you on Sean's side of the world, I wish you a phenomenal day ahead. Thank you for giving us your time. And whatever you choose moving forward from today, my invitation to you all is to choose you. And with what Sean said, choose you with love's perspective and see what
Absolutely.
that creates. Thank you, everybody. Good night. And I look forward to being with you all again very soon. Take care for now.
Thank you.